Hey guys, what's up? And today I'm making a short, quick video on the new Lightcone banner coming out with Jing Yuan, basically talking about it, all the Lightcones on it, whether you should summon on it or not. Personally, I think it's kind of a scam, even though Jing Yuan's Lightcone is really smacking it. I really do think the Preservation Lightcone on this is really smacking. The other two just kind of aren't it, and kind of don't fit the other characters on the banner, in my opinion, honestly. So yeah, guys, well, let's go ahead and talk about all the Lightcones on this banner, which ones are good, which ones are bad, and then you can form your own opinion on whether you want to summon on it or not. So guys, let's go ahead and hop into the Lightcones now. Alright guys, so the 5-star featured Lightcone on this banner is going to be before dawn. It's an iridation Lightcone and it's really built for Jing Yuan. It can also be used for Himiko as well. And basically what it's doing is increasing the wearer's crit damage by 36%, increases the wearer's ultimate damage by 18%. After the wearer uses a skill, they gain Summonous Corp. Upon triggering a follow-up attack, Summonous Corp will be consumed and the follow-up attack damage will be increased by 48%. Now guys, I'm sure you can tell the reason why it's cracked for Jing Yuan and also Himiko as well, because both of them can use every single buff that this Lightcone gives. I mean, it's going to be increasing the crit damage for that person. It's going to be increasing the ultimate damage of that person. And then the biggest thing is going to be increasing the follow-up attack damage of that person. Meaning Jing Yuan's Lightning Lord is going to be doing 48% increased damage. And Himiko as well is going to be doing her follow-up attack with 38% increased damage as well. This is just really good if your main DPS is Himiko or if you plan on pulling for Jing Yuan. Honestly, I think this alone is a must summon for this banner, even though the other Lightcones we'll talk about in a second are kind of bad, but this one alone is just super good for Jing Yuan. So that being said, let's talk about the other Lightcones on the banner now. Alright guys, so let's talk about the Harmony Lightcone on the banner here. Honestly, this one's not too bad. It's Planetary Rendezvous, and this helps out with Ting Yun and using Jing Yuan quite a bit. Now, I wouldn't say this is as universal as a Lightcone as I would like to see, but this does definitely help Ting Yun with Jing Yuan. Because what it does is upon battle entry, if an ally deals the same damage type as the wearer, damage dealt increased by 12%. This means whenever you enter battle, say you have Ting Yun and Jing Yuan, if an ally on the team, meaning Jing Yuan, deals lightning type damage the same as Ting Yun does, this is going to be increasing his damage by 12%. I mean, which is pretty good. This is a pretty good Lightcone. I mean, I think the damage dealt scaling is a little bit low, but overall, I think it's a pretty good Lightcone for her. As far as other alternatives you could use for Ting Yun, past and futures, a pretty good Lightcone for Ting Yun. You are getting more increased damage for Jing Yuan, but you have to make sure he attacks after Ting Yun actually uses her ability, or you just have to make sure she goes right before Jing Yuan. And finally, another decently solid Lightcone you could get. This is a Battle Pass Lightcone, so you don't necessarily have to get this Lightcone. So there is kind of a pay barrier for this Lightcone, but this is decently okay because it applies a buff to the whole team. It can either increase attack by 10% for the whole team, it can increase crit damage for the whole team by 12%, and it can also increase the energy regeneration rate of the team by 6%. This is a random buff, so it's a bit of RNG involved, but just know you won't get the same buff next round as you got the first round, so you do have more variability in that, so you won't get attack buff, attack buff, attack buff. It'll be attack buff in either crit damage buff or energy recharge rate, or swap it around, same formula applies to any of them. Next, let's talk about the Hunt Lightcone on the banner. Only Silence Remains. Honestly, I don't know why they put this on the banner. I mean, this is like a good Lightcone for Dan Heng, but I mean, it's not very good for Shu Shang. Shu Shang does multiple attacks and breaks the enemy. This is just not really catered much towards her. So I mean, I don't know why they put this on the banner for Shu Shang. This doesn't make too much sense to me. This is Shu Shang's Lightcone right here, and this is really catered towards Shu Shang. And what this does is with every hit that your character gets on one enemy, it's going to be increasing their damage done. Now, this is not every turn it gets increased damage done. This means every single hit. So, slink, slink, hit, you know what I mean? So if you go slink, slink, that's 2 hits right there, so that's 2 stacks of the buff, and so on and so forth. Shu Shang honestly does a lot of attacks against the enemies, and this is just overall a lot better for Shu Shang than the other one was. I mean, that one's built for Dan Heng because he needs crit to actually use his ability, whereas Shu Shang really doesn't need that much crit. She just needs to break the enemy's shield. Her whole premise is breaking the enemy's weakness and then attacking after that, so I don't know. I think this would have been a lot better choice there for her. Don't buy the Battle Pass one for her, guys. I'm not even going to recommend the Battle Pass one. This one is not that good. And honestly, the best 4-star one on here is probably day 1 of my new life. This is just a really good Lightcone for preservation units. This is March 7th signature Lightcone, but this can literally be used on any of the other preservation units in the game, because what it does is it increases the wearer's defense by 16%, and then also after entering battle increases the damage resistance of all allies by 8%. So you're giving damage resistance to the whole team and increasing your own defense, which means you're giving bigger shields to the team no matter who you're using, whether you're using Japard, March 7th, or Fire MC. You're giving shield to the whole team regardless, and this increases that shield. In my opinion, this is the best preservation light cone in the game. This is better than Gepard's light cone to me, because Gepard's light cone really only gives defense, which is great for shield and all, but this gives a resistance to the whole team, which is just really cracked and really good. I think this alone should incentivize you to summon for this banner, just because these two light cones are really cracked. I think each of them are best in slot for their own respective categories or typings, whatever you call it, I don't know, man. But let's say you pull Jing Yuan and you don't get his light cone. Well, I'll talk about a light cone or two here that could be used on him. One is a battle pass one, so you'd have to be a battle pass owner to get one of them, and the other one is free to play, but you would probably just use it on him anyways because it's a free to play light cone already. Today is another peaceful day. This is a super strong light cone for Jing Yuan because it's going to be increasing your damage done off of the max energy of that person. This gives a 0.20% damage increase per point of energy. If we pull out my handy dandy calculator here and we put 0.20 in and we multiply that by, what is it, 130 energy, right? He gets a 26% damage increase. This is a full damage increase to him. This is a really good light cone form and a really good alternative light cone form. If you're not getting his main light cone, this is just pretty good form all around. It is just a damage increase. There's no prerequisites required. You just get it as soon as you start the battle. And then of course you'll probably use Seriousness of Breakfast if you don't have that, which I mean, it's okay to use. It increases your attack, which means you're going to increase the Lightning Lord's attack. But overall, if you did have the battle pass, I would recommend getting that if you didn't pull Jing Yuan's light cone. Anyways, guys, I was just cutting the video right here when I was editing it. I forgot I didn't mention that the light cone banner in Honkai Star Rail is a lot different than the weapon banner in Genshin Impact. Now, the weapon banner in Genshin Impact is basically you pull, and you have a chance to get the weapon after about 2 run-throughs of getting pity or whatever it is. Then you get the weapon after that. Whereas this banner right here works a lot differently. The banner here works just like the character banner. If you lose your 50-50 on this light cone, then you'll get the light cone the next summon. So this banner already is inherently better than Genshin Impact's weapon banner. And also, the light cones in this game play a bit of a different role than the weapons do. Whereas with the weapons in Genshin Impact, you maybe use like one weapon for every single character, where this is not the case because of how the abilities work in this game and how the game actually plays. Honestly, getting character specific light cones means a lot more than getting like a weapon built for a 5-star character, whereas I mean this works for a 5-star character. Getting their weapon works the best on them, and then it slowly trickles down to work on other people. But even for the 4 stars, for example, getting that 4-star character specific light cone is going to work the best on them, and then it's going to trickle down to work on other people. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to be good on other people, because obviously we know with the preservation one it's good, but overall it'll trickle down and get a little bit worse. It won't have as much use as other ones, but some do, some don't. But yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, guys, I'll put you back into the video at somewhere in the video. I don't know where it's going to be at yet. Anyways, guys, as far as my opinion goes on this banner, I think you should probably summon for it. I mean, I think Jing Yuan's light cone is a really good light cone to have. It is for sure the best Urdation light cone in the game right now. This will help out with literally all of your Urdation units. This one right here is just really cracked, really good. And also the preservation one I think is the best in slot for that as well. Asta's light cone is not too bad either. It's just not as good as these two right here. But so I think you're getting pretty good value. You have 2 really good best in slot light cones for basically for every unit in that class. And then you have probably like the 2nd or 3rd best in slot with Planetary Rendezvous. And then honestly, just not really a good one for Shushang. Also, guys, if you didn't watch my video earlier today, go check that out if you haven't pulled for Jing Yuan already. It's basically giving you reasons on why you should summon for Jing Yuan. We also have a video on why you shouldn't summon for Jing Yuan. So yeah, guys, a lot of content there. Make sure you go watch that if you can, and subscribe too. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it. Bye, guys. See you later.